seen the original film before you signed up to play in it?
Yes.
Yes.
What did you think?
I mean, I recently found out that it was, while we were shooting this film, that the 59 version was a remake of an earlier version. So, I mean, it's iconic. It's 11 Oscars and Charlton Heston, and it's a beautiful, compelling, moving film.
Now, Jesus is portrayed very differently in these two movies. How can you explain that? Where's the difference?
Well, the biggest difference is that William Wyler, the director of the version of the 50s, chose not to show Jesus. I actually read an interview that he declared that he wasn't interested in showing the face of Jesus because millions of people around the world have an expectation and a close relationship with the figure of Jesus. So he didn't want to go into that business of trying to fulfill and deal with all that expectations. In this film, what we try to do is to make Jesus very relatable and just to humanize the figure of Jesus and ground him and so people can identify themselves with his teachings and with what he's saying. I think that's the biggest difference from this version and that version.
You come from a Catholic country, from Brazil. You must have a notion of your own personal notion of Jesus. Mm-hmm. What is it like portraying him?
That was the first thing that I actually had to try to get rid of, because the preconceived ideas and thoughts and images I had myself about him, because otherwise I would probably be falling into a caricature, a stereotype of Jesus. I think it's probably the most difficult character to play because of that, because the image is just so crystallized, and so the first thing was actually to turn in a different direction and try to dive inside and try to understand what is unconditional love like for real, how is to practice that on a daily basis, and to pay attention to myself and to sort of like go through an exploration of my own faith, of my own heart, my own humanity, and really just trying to understand the human in humanity as much as possible, as deep as possible, and start working from that place.
And what specifically did you do to prepare?
All kinds of things. First I researched like references, films, literature, paintings, gospels. I practiced lots of yoga and meditation in order to center myself, and it was a very useful tool to help me to just dive inside and do that research. But that was the basic idea was to have access profoundly to my feelings in my heart and what the love that I have inside and all the other emotions that we all have as human beings, and kind of be in touch with them to have a true understanding and feeling for them, so I could express in the most truthful and genuine way possible.
Nazanin, your character is almost the conscience of the piece, is it not?
Yeah, I feel that way, but alongside the Jesus character, they're the moral compass of the film.
What is her journey?
Her journey is one of questioning. From the beginning, she's a slave. She's a Judean slave in the house of Hur, and she realizes that the world is not right, and there's inequality and injustice. She just doesn't know what to do about it. And then when she finds Jesus and she finds her faith, I think she finds her strength and her voice and her courage, and she forgives. She forgives Masala. She forgives. There was a lot of finger pointing, I think, for her at the beginning. This isn't right. They must be doing something wrong. And she realizes that the only way that we can survive as humanity is to love each other and find unity and set our divisions and our oppositions aside. And yeah, so she's very much an activist of her era, and I'm an activist in my life. So I related to that aspect of her.
Now, you guys got to shoot at Cinecittà, which has amazing history. Do you feel it when you walk down the the street.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
magical.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They took me on a tour, and I went to the Fellini's office, and it was like a traveling in time. And I'm a big fan of Fellini, and I've probably watched most of his films, and it was just so beautiful to see his, just his process, his creative process. There was like books, notes, all kinds of stuff, and it was like truly a unique, experience.
Timur, what sort of a director is he?
Very collaborative, I would
Yeah.
say. The best word to describe his direction is collaborative. He allows actors to be involved with the process, which is a wonderful experience.
But also detail oriented.
Yeah.
Very much about detail. He loves when you come up with like little things. In my case, playing Jesus and trying to make him relatable as most human possibly. It was all about details, about little things, and we worked a lot on that. And like she said, he had a very solid vision for things. It's not that he's there. He knows exactly what he wants. He's very particular, and very kind too, which is
Very
great.
kind,
Yeah, it's very kind.
Very kind.
Like like a friend. Like right away, he's a very special guy.
Thank you both very much.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
meeting
Thank you.
again.
Lovely to
Same
meet
here.
you.